able to do that, where they were able to have a woman run for a candidacy and be elected, it was like, all right, so why was she elected? Because people were beginning to get fed up. You know, we used to go around joking, the men aren't doing a very good job of running the world. Maybe it's time you ought to give it to a woman and see if they can do a better job. So again, you're questioning the myth. You're questioning the myth. Is this really valid? Is this really the way it is?
And I'm also questioning about the fact that some people say those Arabs, because they are Arabs, because they are Muslims, they will never be able to evolve that way. So do you think that, or do you think that it's possible that in some day, some point...
The problem with the Arabs basically is the tribal situation. The fact that even going into parliament, it's from one guy's from this tribe, one guy's from that tribe, one guy's from that family. And it's not an outsider. Well, it's all right to have somebody from the family if the guy is good. But it always turns out that they're only there because it's from somebody's cousin. And they don't turn out to be any good. And they end up making their own laws and doing their own things based on what they want for themselves and their families. And in the end, they're not doing anything for the people, and then you have your big conflict. So the tribal society does this. I don't think religion gets into it in exactly that way. I think it first comes from tribal or family. Let's elect so-and-so, he comes from a really good family. Well, they got their money running guns, but it's a good family. So let him be one of the ministers. Well, he's not trained, he's not educated, he never studied political science. He doesn't know anything about human beings. He only knows, oh, I'm getting in this now, I can get what I want.
So that sounds really like a political issue.
So it becomes a political issue. Right. Now, the new government the king just put in now is made up of, there's only 13 ministers left over from the old government. This guy who is now prime minister happens to be very, very, a friend of mine described it the other day because he's from that family. He said he never made a lot of noise in the country. He was always very quiet. You never heard about him. Okay? He was asked to be prime minister several times, and he said no. Now perhaps is the right time, but you could never catch him on anything because he never did anything. You know, whatever he did, whatever work or life he led, he was quiet and dignified. He didn't do anything that people would talk about or throw up to his face. So now he's prime minister, and he seems to be more sure of himself. You see? And if he likes himself, or he believes in what he's doing, he would be all right. If you go into the ministry because you're head of a family, you're not going into it because you believe in yourself. You're going into it because you wanted to get elected so you could do whatever you can to steal and be corrupt and get things done for your family and your villages and your tribe and your part of the country. It's two different things.
So the situation in France is very different, of course. And we are able to create organizations like ours. Ours is called HM2F, which is Homosexual Muslims of France. And we are trying yet to understand what is the true issue between Islam and homosexuality.
It came up when Iran started this business with killing, executing, homosexuals. And it was not. I found it very strange. A lot of us found it very strange Because homosexuality, if you've studied the human condition over the years, homosexuality was always here. Alexander the Great was bisexual, so did they make him any less great? That's the way it is. That's the way it was. They grew up as young boys together, and they didn't mingle with girls, so they mingled with each other. Some stayed at it, and some changed. I mean, this is part of the human condition. So to take it and make it a political issue, and an issue where you have to go to trial, and then you end up with an execution, I mean, come on. Why are you doing this? Is it because you have nothing else to do?
Yeah, especially when you see